from Austin, Texas. One of them happens to be a DePauw graduate. I don't know. I think that's kind of cool. But what they have done is sold all of their belongings. They quit their jobs because they couldn't stand it anymore, and they've just been on the road since August, performing poetry all around the country. And you're catching us at about the halfway point. Why am I talking in third person? I'm not really sure. That's okay. But anyway, we're here tonight. We're going to share some poetry with you, and that's it. I don't know. Thanks for coming.
Woo! Poetry!
Who's familiar with slam poetry at all? Slam poetry specifically. Anybody? Yes? Who's not familiar with slam poetry? Okay. So slam poetry is for me, I see it as kind of like a pep rally for poetry, right? Like it puts a little more energy into your standard open mic, and well, we can tell you more about exactly how it works later, but it's all about audience participation. So we love feedback. If there's something that you hear that's awesome, cheer for it, yell, clap, whatever you want to do. If there's something that just really strikes you really terribly, make negative type noises. I don't know, whatever it is you do to let us know that was kind of, yeah, sheep. You can bow like sheep. You want to practice real quick? If you like something that you hear, what do you do?
Yeah! Woo!
All right, this half has it. If you hear something that you don't like, what do you do?
Boo! Get off the stage. I want to go watch The Office.
Is that on right now?
Yeah.
Don't tell the people. Don't tell anybody. Okay, so poetry being a pep rally, slam being a pep rally for poetry. I'm gonna start us all off with a little cheer. So I need your full participation. I want you to be yelling from the bottom of your stomach. Okay, can we all do this?
Yeah.
Oh man, I do not have any confidence in this.
Yeah, I can. Woo!
All right, here we go. Give me an M.
M.
Give me a Y.
Y.
Give me a C.
C.
Give me a U.
U.
Give me an N.
N.
Give me a T.
T.
What's that spell?
My cunt.
What's it spell?
My cunt.
I've heard far too many tired metaphors about my vagina. You've got to be more humble. You are basking in the glow of your creators every day. Right now, even. And you don't even have the decency to lower your gaze, or soften your voice, or model yourself in her image for a change. You know, my cunt is a lady of the world, able to ask for directions in 5 different languages, able to give directions in 6, but no one ever inquires. They just congratulate themselves upon finding Atlantis. So I go on ahead and let them think they found Atlantis damn near every time. It's just easier that way. And when they promise fireworks, this never amounts to more than the signaling of the daily closing of my amusement park. Ooh, ah, baby, it's the same show every night. But when you say you want to worship at my temple, now we're getting somewhere. Though a deity so powerful as a goddess has no use for just any kind of worship, you need to prove your devotion. You need to build me a motherfucking temple before you can worship me in it, you follow? This will not be just any temple. No, this will be a temple of Mayan proportions, built with 3,000-pound bricks that grind grooves into your sunburnt spine while you're fighting off swarm after swarm of malaria-infested mosquitoes. And when you are finally finished, I want sacrifices. I want major, irresponsible, warmongering, government-scale sacrifices. My cunt is a place of blood, guts, alpha and omega of life. I expect you to respect and honor it as such. Because for as powerful as my cunt may be, it is indeed cradled in a velvet glove. For every place where my velveteen has been loved off in your favorite spots, or crushed in a mouth so clumsy it finds no word better than pussy to describe the sacred knowledge and treasures embedded in these bodies that brought you into this world, I promise there are infinitely more left undiscovered that you will never know. Bring up my better half for the last 2 months. all the way from Austin, Texas, HBO Deaf Poet. That's right. I said it 3 times. HBO Deaf Poet. Big Papa E.
Hi everybody, how you doing? Good. Good. Hi. It's really good to be here. So, okay, I want to do a cheer too. So you guys ready? Are you ready? Give me an M. Give me a Y. Give me a W. Give me an E. Give me an E. Give me an N. Give me an I. Give me an B. What's that spell? I just wanted you to say my weenie. I have no poem to support that, so thank you very much for indulging me. You guys hate me now, I know. Okay, this is a poem I wrote when I was very scared and nervous at a punk rock show, and it's about that experience. I am the biggest monster in all the mosh pit. I don't give a damn, and if you don't like it, I'll pull a stage dive and take your greasy punk ass out. I wade through the arching, twisting, gnashing whirlpool of elbows and knuckles, and I will mess up any Drew foolish enough to meet my gaze. For I'm a lumbering behemoth with a 6-foot-tall spiked mohawk and a pierced uvula. I got arms like I-beams, fists like anvils, neck like a sewer pipe, head like a Volkswagen. I shrug my mighty shoulders and sweaty punks go flying off the air like gnats off a yak's back. Yea, though I march through the valley in the shadow of punk rock music, I shall fear no punk, for I am the biggest, the baddest, the meanest, the no pain feeling, jackbooted thugginest, steel toe havingest, no tooth grinninest, punk rock monster in all the valley. As a matter of fact, I made the valley with one mighty drag of my pinky toe. Goddamn! Shazam! Poetry slam! Green eggs and ham! Somebody say amen.
Amen.
Somebody say a woman.
Amen.
And just because you see me standing over there in the corner all by myself, watching the mosh pit mayhem from afar, skinny, in a pink Britney Spears t-shirt, it don't mean nothing because I don't have to prove myself to nobody. Damn! Okay, so now, ladies and gentlemen, start stomping your feet. Start clapping your hands. You've been putting up with my shit for 2 months. Erin, Livingston, get up.
How do you like it so far?
It's loud.
Okay. So, I'm going to share a story that's a little bit about what makes me who I am. About yeah, that's all I'm going to say. A letter arrived the other day from my grandma. It included an update on all the grandkids, the great-grandkids, a few aunts and uncles, my parents, the renovations in the living room, the moles in the garden, a photo of me and Thelma, that's my grandma, and a reminder that her life is only getting shorter. She tells me she prays for all of us all the time, and I'm willing to bet this even includes the moles. See, Thelma is a worrier. Always has been, always will be. Same with my mother, same with her sisters, same with me. My family, they worry about love, about money, car insurance, health insurance, good credit, and the future of all these things. And I know it is all for the sake of those they care about most. They want us kids to be safe and happy. In short, they want us to not have to worry. When I was 6, my grandma gave me a set of worry dolls from Mexico. She said to tell each one a worry before placing it under my pillow, and by morning the worry would be gone. And this, I thought, was an excellent invention and quickly put every doll to work. And one night, while being tucked to bed, my parents discovered a veritable village of worry dolls living under my pillow. And they expressed their concern that one so small should have so many worries, and I started to cry. Told them how I worried about world hunger and world peace, about being kidnapped and carried away, about the environment and the holes in the ozone layer, about poverty and racism, about making friends at school. I even worried about the worry dolls because they didn't freaking work. I mean, I would wake up in the morning and find this troubled tribe, and everything entrusted to them the night before would come flooding back to me. My world became no less distressing in the days that followed, and the older I get, the more I wish I didn't sell those poor little people for 5 cents at a garage sale. I mean, at least then I could delegate my dilemmas and hold daily meetings with each anxiety-riddled representative to see how things were coming along. But today, it's just me left to worry alone, smothering under pillows of responsibility to self, to debt, to family, to the future, to all of those stuck riding this planet in circles with me, and I sit. And I worry still about world hunger and world peace, about being kidnapped and carried away, about the environment and the holes in the ozone layer, all the problems that come with poverty and racism. I worry that my college degree stands for nothing, that there is no hope for desperate situations, that addictions might never be mastered, that love is as much a phase as hipster fashion. I worry that hipster fashion is not a phase. I worry I may never see my grandmother again, and there's no one to blame for that but myself. I worry that the worst is yet to come, and in our comfortable, softened, veal calf existence, we will be too fickle and weak in the knees to stand up for ourselves with some righteous conviction. I worry that I'm the only one who feels this way. And I worry that everyone feels this way, but is already too scared to say it. So I sit, and I worry so that one day no one else will have to. Thanks. So, another one here, see what we want to do. Do another one about my family, because they're funny. This is about, this is a story about me when I was a kid, another one about me when I was a kid, and how me and my family tended to interact. Let me get some water.
Woo!
Get water.
Hydration is good. Chug a lug, chug a lug.
No.
Oh, okay.
We're a dry campus. Don't tell, nobody knows. I think it's really funny. Okay, so you guys, do you all know Rajai? Yeah. That's Rajai. We graduated in the same class. He works at the International Center. If you don't know him, he's a really awesome fellow. You should go and visit him tonight or in his office or whatever. But I think it's really funny that his office is in a building that used to be student housing, and when I found this out, like when I went to see him, I ran upstairs and I was like, holy crap, I got high in this room, didn't I? It's kind of oops. I can say this now because I'm graduated, right? You can't suspend me, what? Anyway, so I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, so it's like I'm like Midwest. This is my stomping grounds. I'm familiar. So maybe any of you can relate to one, not only the news story, because we like nothing better in the Midwest than like the pain and agony of others, and then just how the family responded to innocent questions. So here we go. On the news one night at dinner, the headline was rape. I was a little over 8 years old, and the victim of this story was a young woman in roller skates on the boardwalk in Florida. She was raped by a stranger and brutally murdered. And the reporter held my family's rapt attention, but at first mention of her being seen with another woman, as I was told women should only be seen with men, the interest of my family faded. Clanking forks, scraping plates, scooping up gravy and mashed potatoes. I was the only one trying to hear what the reporter had to say. I expressed my frustration at their noise and was told my green beans required more attention. So finding this response unfair, I blurted out, "What if I was a lesbian?" All chewing stopped. All forks dropped. The ice cubes shifted in Mom's tea, and everyone inched their eyes toward me. So I focused on the fraying tablecloth and rephrased my question. Would I deserve to die like that if I were a lesbian? My mom stuttered toward my dad. My brother laughed and said, "You don't know what you're talking about. And the truth be told, I really think he needs to come out, but that's another story." My dad just poured more milk in my glass and systematically ignored me. They were mad because once again, I had accidentally called their social standards into question. And you'd think, of all people, my mother, the physics teacher, could respect such pure reflection of her beloved scientific method. So thus began my secret journey toward unencumbered self-expression. I listened to my home with all of my senses, built up a fortress where there was once gated fences, formed my own opinions but kept them protected, and developed a brand new family of friendships that could respect such reckless discovery of truth. My life split in two. There's the Hoover Dam my family is comfortable with, and the Niagara Falls that flows naked for you. My goal is to one day have them see me like you do. I just hope it can happen well before I'm found dead in my roller skates, making national headlines on the dinner time news. I didn't say stop clapping. What are you doing? Keep clapping. Clap. We're bringing up another awesome poet. You better be excited. I don't hear that. Stop your feet. Big Brother E!
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hey. So check this out. I don't know if she told you about this or not, but check this out. Just 3 months ago, we were cubicle workers. We were cubicle veal, okay? And we got sick of it, and we got tired of it, because that's a terrible veal calf existence. And we decided to get rid of everything we owned, literally everything we owned. I donated my car to the National Public Radio Station. She sold hers to some lady on Craigslist. I have a few boxes in storage. She's got a few boxes at friends' houses. That's it. I dropped my cats off at a friend's house, and we bailed. We've been on the road for 2.5 months on the Greyhound with rolly bags and backpacks. That's what our existence has been like. Doing poetry all over the place. We've been to Seattle, Denver, Chicago. We've been freaking every place, and now we're right here. And since we're totally, completely homeless, that means we live wherever we happen to be at the moment. So right now, barefooted, I live here in the den. So you guys are in my living room. Can you get the fuck out? I'm just kidding. I'm just totally kidding. But it's a pleasure to be here, and it's neato. And I just want to do some poems about girls. Okay, I'm really inspired by girls, and I'm scared of them. And anybody, any guys, any girls, anybody scared of girls? I'm really scared and intimidated by girls. So I write a lot about that kind of thing. And one of the things that is a shame is that everything in this country is so sexualized. You can't talk to somebody without wondering, are they just talking to me because of the shirt I'm wearing? Are they just looking at me because of the way I walk? You know, you can't just simply come up and say, hi, how you doing, without it make it sound like, hey, how you doing? You know, there's all these strings attached because there's so many products out there to sell sexuality and movies that sell this sexually intense lifestyle. I just want to go back to the time where it was really like 10 years old. Your mom takes you to the mall, to the movie, with your friend in 6th grade who also is 10 years old, and you sit in the dark. First off, you're in the dark with somebody you like. How freaking cool is that? And then your elbows touch and you're like, and your whole existence becomes that little oval of shared warmth, you know? And then suddenly you get all bold and the little kid music starts, wow, you know? And then your finger touches their pinky. And you're like, oh my God, it's on, because he didn't move the finger. And then you're getting all kind of randy, and you're like, oh yeah. And then she goes, oh yeah. And then it's on in the dark. You don't know what movie it is. You don't know anything. You just know that she's not letting go of your pinky. And that was a home run at 10 years old. And I just yearn for the time where just... oh! Okay, I yearn for that time, and I wrote a poem about it. It's called Falling in Like. Aw, do you like that? Okay, all the girls go, oh. All the guys go, oh. Yeah, no, you guys aren't willing to do it. You're the only one. But this is about that. You make me feel goofy. Goofy like I blush when someone mentions your name. Goofy like I have a bazillion things I want to tell you when you're not around, but face to face I just stare at my toe making circles on the ground like I'm all thumbs and no place to put them. Like I just want to write you a note that says, do you like me? Yes, no, or maybe. Whatever, you want to keep that maybe in there. Whatever random cool I've been able to harness leaps from my grasp when you enter the room and I feel old school. And by that, I mean grade school, like back in the day when the space between wanting to touch someone's hand and actually touching it could hold lifetimes of passionate yearning. Girl, I don't want to make out with you. I want to make a fort with you, right in the middle of the living room with all the sheets and all the blankets and every chair in the whole house. A soft labyrinth scented with fabric softener and hot chocolate with marshmallows, laying on our tummies in the avocado shack carpeting and eating golden grams right from the box. We'd be the best spellers in all the 6th grade spelling bee, and we'd spend our recesses in the library, quizzing each other over dueling dictionaries and encyclopedias and having cutthroat Scrabble wars. And you would always accuse me of cheating, but I still swear that ishkabibble is a real word. And if you got the chicken pox, I would ride my BMX bike across town on a Saturday and climb in through your bedroom window to hang out with you while your parents were shopping so that I could get chicken pox too. And then we could stay at home from school together and talk on the phone all day long and watch game shows and Twilight Zone reruns together and take breaks only for dinner in the bathroom until it was bedtime. And we whispered into the phone under the covers in the dark until we got really sleepy. And I would say, "Are you asleep?" And you would say, "Yes." And I would talk a little while later. I would say, "Are you still awake?" And you wouldn't say anything. And I would just sit there, listening to the sound of your breathing. On my homemade Valentine's Day card, I would write, "I like you," in sparkles and glue. Only my handwriting is so bad, all my K's look like V's, but we decide that's better anyway. I live you. We made pinky swears while biting our thumbs and cross our hearts and hope to die promises with words like always and forever and never ever ever. Promises you can only make when you're 10 and don't know any better. Back when 3 weeks at summer camp was an eternity and a change of schools a disaster. Back before pimples, before underarm hair, before bra straps and backpack and makeup. Back before graduation and college and graduation and real life. Back before resumes and jobs and careers and mortgages and marriage and divorce and debt and disappointment. Back when summers lasted forever. And our very first kiss on the cheek was the weirdest, scariest, most wonderful thing in the whole wide world. That's how I like you, like a freaking lot. So which is it? Yes, no, or maybe? So we've been on tour for 2.5 months, and there's still a lot to go, and it's been on Greyhounds, which are like a Nazi torture device that the American government bought to extract its revenge on poor people. It's a horrible, terrible place, and I'm short. I'm like 5'5", and if my knees are aching, oh my God, if you're like 5'10", I pity you tall people. It's a horrible, horrible thing. It's a horrible thing. And in 2003, I toured the country in a van with my girlfriend at the time, who was a poet, and that's a special kind of hell. Because if you break up and then you continue to tour like we did, the rest of the tour sucks so bad. We toured for 3 months in the van and were broke up within a month, and continued for 2 very long months. And out of that situation, I wrote this. It's 13 metaphors for why we should have never dated. Yes. It's a bit bitter, okay? It's a bit bitter. Is anybody bitter about love? Because okay, yes. Feel my bitterness. You are the jagged, rusty tip of a nail sliding down, blah, blah. Okay, I'm so bitter, I fucked up my poem. Thank you very much. 13 metaphors for why we should have never dated. You are the jagged, rusty tip of a nail sticking out of a polished wooden banister. And I am the little kid sliding down that banister in baby blue felt pajamas. You are the computer hard drive grinding to a complete halt. And I am the last 200 pages of the great American novel written in a mad 12-hour rush that were never saved. You are the speeding train hurtling toward the stalled Greyhound. And I am the cure for cancer whispered by the bus driver seconds before impact. You are the answering machine that eats the tape. And I'm the telephone call from the lottery saying you just won $26 million if you call back right now. You are a small furry rodent wrapped tightly in duct tape. And I am Richard Gere. You are the bullets, and I am the Kennedy. I didn't say it was going to be pretty. You are Gollum, and I am Frodo's ring finger. Okay, I just outed all the dorks just now. You all are, I can see you all. You are a Daytime Emmy Award, and I am Susan Lucci. You are a ham sandwich, and I am Mama Cass. You are a super tanker bulging with oil, and I am Alaska. You are George W. Bush, and I am Alaska. You are the Matrix Revolutions. And you just freaking suck, God! You are Michael Jackson. And I'm not prepared to go there right now. You are the sharpened spine of a stingray's tail. And I am the crocodile hunter. And yes, I went there, I'm sorry. You are the proposed sequel to The Goonies. And I am Corey Feldman, waiting for that phone call for 20 freaking years. Which is to say, you and I do not go together like peas and carrots. We go together like candy apples and razor blades. And I'm aware of this. I know this. And yet, at 3 in the morning, I find myself staring at the ceiling and thinking about you. Give it up for Erin, ladies and gentlemen.
Give me a... Oh, sorry.
Just like the shouts. Okay. So, the book that Big Papi was reading out of, this is how we eat. Because we both have books and some CDs that we sell. So if there's anything that you hear tonight that you like, we potentially have it in written or audio form for you to take home with you for a few dollars. They're varying price. I think he sells his for like 10 to 15. Mine are like 3 to 5, whatever, or for a hug. We like hugs.
That better be a goddamn good hug.
A good hug, a really good hug.
No, we do it for hugs. But this is how we eat. So if you
Yeah.
ever heard about like supporting the arts, well, this is it. This is the arts right
It's the
here
most
in your
direct
living room.
way. Yes, go straight to the food.
My
bank.
living room.
So, in your living room, yes. Okay, so, okay, this is another story from home. Kind of serious, but it's not. Look why I'm bragging on my family so much tonight. I'm so close to home. Anyway, it's not about that. It's not about that. This is about the first time that I was alone when I was in the situation of somebody approaching you asking, hey, do you have any spare change? And usually, like, when you're in a group and then something like that comes up, you kind of go with the group think, or you go with your family, you know, you just kind of do what is kind of expected of you, you know. So it really surprised me how I responded to this the first time around, and this is that story. So. He asks if I can spare $1. My fingers form a fist around President Lincoln's face in the front pocket of my skin-tight plaid pants. No, man, I say, turning toward him. I don't have any money. But when our eyes meet, I see his skin sag, unsatisfied by my canned response, an obvious irony of just having left a school night concert. He stands statuesque, chiseled out of solid sidewalk, draped in drop cloths of unripped jeans, a single flannel shirt, his only barrier against the chill of late October, rolling in with the morning fog up the Ohio River Valley. His smooth shaven cheeks and blonde hair curled round his ears set off his sneers sharp as a slap in my face for lying. He looks me up and down like a father would an ungrateful child, his eyes burning holes through my spine, his pride wasted as the cigarette butt embers smoldering on the sludge-rusted gutter grate. And I realize too late he is not just another drunk, and I want to talk to him. Ask him questions like, what the hell happened? You are asking some teenager for money. Where is your job? Where is your family? Instead, all I do is just stare at the concrete, wishing he would stop staring at me, his eyes broiling my insecurities to crisp shards of guilt, until headlights from my ride home crest over the hill. Premature relief exhales at the arrival of my easy exit, when the stranger breaks the silence and spits the same polite posturing that flowed so easily from me when I refused to engage his request for spare change. You go on home, he says. Drive off in your nice car. Sleep in your nice warm bed. You have a nice night. Framed in headlights, frozen as my asphalt tongue, I want to tell him I'm sorry. I want to know how to fix it. I want to talk to him until he's had a chance to explain it all. But I've got a curfew, and a parent waiting in the car who wouldn't believe me if I told them that there is far less danger in talking to strangers than there is in ignoring them. Okay. Can I do one about the war? Okay. I'm gonna, because I'm gonna, whether you're okay with it or not. So that's what I feel like doing. This is about my friend Cassie. Cassie? She went to school here too, graduated, and it's about her and her brother and their relationship regarding the war. That's still going on, and I think it's really important to still talk about these things. I know the conversations are happening on campus. I met with some of the interns this afternoon, and so I really encourage you to go to any of the programming that's out there that fosters any sort of positive discussion of any kind. It's just go. You're not going to get this kind of direct information anywhere else and have a chance to talk about it. This is the time and the place to do that. So please support the Compton Center and the work that they do. That's the end of my rant there. So here we go. He must know how her eyes stare at him. From his unmistakable crew cut on down each brass button, to polished patent leather and back up crisp starched creases, to confetti breast of patches, finally landing on his name tag. Only sometimes do they make it back up to his square jaw, and on rare occasions they might meet his gaze. But his eyes are faded. They're smoldering like mortar shells gone screaming through hell. Sights stored in memory reflect sense of smell, and she wouldn't dare ask if he didn't want to tell. It drips off him, wanting someone to understand that firstborn son, raised in an upper-class subdivision, turned college dropout, left without meaning as a man. Searching for approval, he landed in Afghanistan, his pride weighing heavy as the machine gun in his soft hands, and he wonders, how did this happen? Together they ask the same questions. Too many limbs lost to a cause explained only in catchphrases. Too many bullets fired over rubbled alleys of misinformation. Too many graves dug to bury baby faces. Sometimes she wishes the two of them could trade places, because he must know how his eyes stare at her. From her unmistakable knotted up locks, on down each protest slogan button, to scuffed and muddied marching boots, back up pants of patchwork trails, finally landing on her unbound breasts. And only sometimes do they make it back up to her square jaw, and on rare occasions they might meet her gaze. But her eyes are faded, and too long jaded by an underestimated significance of her countercultural presence in the face of a leader who would rather see her own brother die than admit to lying about why the U.S. went to war. This is not a battle over who loves our country more. This is a battle over preserving our nation's values, conflicted as they are. Hers is exactly the type of freedom he set out to defend, but believes is a too futile means to an end. And his is exactly the type of freedom she could never defend, because she believes it a too brutal means to an end. To be American is complicated, to say the least. To err is human, we all make mistakes. Then we all wonder why it takes so long to learn from them. So I learned from my friend, her peacemaking process with next of kin, together around a dinner table. Mediated by two loving parents, they settle conflicts that have baffled and plagued the greatest of nations. So God bless these heroes, that they may lead my generation.
Okay, so we have two more. Again, thank you so much for letting us come here. You know, she graduated from here, and she helped start that symptom that she talked about. What's it, the Russell, was it?
Jake helped start it. Jake and Glenn, the Russell Compton.
Anyway, she was there. She was one of the first summer interns. So she's come back to give a little something back to her college. So give it up for Erin, okay? You guys have no idea how important this is to her, so it's really, really nice to be here again. Okay, so check it out. Have you seen the little flyers we passed out? There's a website who's been kind enough to help us out with a bunch of stuff. They're putting together a website to feature creative work by college students. And part of what we're doing on this tour is interviewing people about, one, their passions and what makes their life worth living, and two, the inside scoop on their school. So think about this for a moment, because I would love to interview some of you people and put you on our website, okay? What you got to think about is, if you were going to have a friend who is an incoming freshman, what would you tell them? You have to go see this, or you have to completely avoid this, unless you want to be surrounded by frat guys, you know? I want you to think about some of the pros and cons, and maybe some of the things that make your life worth living, because I would love to interview you tonight, like over there in the light. So just think about that, and stay after we're all done, okay? Here's something. Being on the road is an amazing and challenging thing. Has anybody ever been on a road trip before? Yeah, man, you just pop in some music and go. It's one of the most freeing experiences I've ever had in my whole entire life. It sucks on the Greyhound, but it's cool in the back of your own automobile, you know what I'm saying? So I recommend doing that sometime. Get a group of people and get the hell out of Dodge. So this is about that information, or about that. It's called road tripping. And I wrote this on the back of my pickup truck watching the sunset in New Mexico. And if you've ever seen the sky in New Mexico, I don't know why they have a different sky than anybody else, but that sky is so beautiful. So I wrote this watching that sun go down. There's something magical and healing about a solo road trip. It's about forward motion. Something about going somewhere and leaving something behind. It's about yearning. To blow off your job, quit your girlfriend, sell off all your stuff and pack what's left into the back of your pickup truck. It's about whittling your existence down to its necessary parts. Just you, an 80 gig iPod, and a sleeping bag in the back, and throwing the map out the window and getting the hell out of Dodge. It's about raising your head from the keyboard attached to a computer, on a desk, in a cubicle, in a work center, in a business that makes things for other businesses, that sell things for other businesses, and realizing that your paragraph in the great American novel is due for yet another rewrite. It's about yearning to tattoo the sticky black ink of your tires across the belly of this land, to become another steel corpuscle in the freeway bloodstream and flow into towns you've never seen and follow the pulse to its beating heart. It's about blazing down that highway, just you and Patsy Cline, just you and Johnny Cash, just you and Soft Cell, and singing at the top of your lungs, "Don't touch me, please, I cannot stand the way you tease," at 75, 85, 95 miles an hour. It's about playing ski rack or cop car for 600 miles at a time. It's about pulling over recklessly, immediately, across 4 lanes of traffic to stop under an overpass to scribble a phrase or two that falls in your path like a safe from the sky. It's about leaving everything behind and cleansing yourself in a gritty, sweaty, unwashed catharsis of road dirt and sunburnt forearms, and parking in a field infested with crickets in some town somewhere, and drifting off to sleep
and the same cutoffs and Regina Spektor t-shirt you've been wearing since diving into the Colorado River in Needles, California just 3 days before. It's about the random encounters in gas stations and greasy spoons and coffee shops and dark saloons. It's about being embraced by serendipity and spirited away from the real deal angst machine of modern day existence. It's about smiling. That healing smile that days and days on the road can bring. I love a good road trip that shakes your head and clears out the cobwebs and allows you to think clearly for the first time in years. And I'm leaving the tour early, and Erin's going to continue on for another month and 3/4 all by herself, which is an amazing thing. So give it up for Erin. So this is my last poem of my last performance of the tour, although we're doing some workshops tomorrow. But as far as being on a stage in front of people, this is my last poem. So I had to pick a good one. So this is everything. It's called Mission Statement. We are poets. And that lifestyle choice may have destroyed our credit, yes. It may have destroyed relationships, yes. It may have destroyed our backs from sleeping on couches between times when we could afford a place of our own, yes. But oh, the beauty, the soul, the whole wide world. We live for that connection between a poet and someone moved to touch their hand to their chest and whisper, oh, I get it. Between two people sitting cross-legged on dusty wooden floors, bathed in Joni Mitchell and candlelight at 3 a.m., heads bowed, hands touching. Between the wind and a person alone at a bus stop, whispering his truth under invisible turntable breakbeats from the shady confines of his hoodie. It's all poetry, all of it. Every single breath is scented with poetry. We may die penniless, but goddamn, the stories, the love, the whole wide world held limp in the palms of our hands. The smiles on our faces as we bid you all goodbye with a twinkle in our eyes and so many sweet, sad songs in our hearts. So many people never get the chance to fly because they never have the courage to leap blindingly, stupidly, floppingly out of the nest and bash themselves against all the branches all the way down, then get up and do it again and again. So many times they feel like they'll die if they try again. But that's the only way to learn how to fly. And every poet who's ever spread their wings and left the bonds of this earth has a body covered in scars and bruises you feel in every word they speak. We don't just write poetry, we live poetry. Warm noses on cold window panes leave haiku in frost. Blank pages across foreheads yield truth. We can cut our wrists on your lips and drip psalms on your tongue. We can't help it. We are poets. People chain themselves to desks and cage themselves in cubicles and trade their precious hours on this planet for scraps of paper and a gold watch. Some fleeting notion of security, and we are the crazy ones, wasting time with moonbeams and seashores. We are the irresponsible ones, chasing fireflies and making love on rooftops. To hell with that. Poetry may be the rose-colored glasses through which we see the world, but we get to see everything. We are not allowed to close our eyes. We do not have the right to remain silent. We are hopelessly, painfully, ravishingly, wonderfully, terribly, hopefully in love with love and life itself, even when it hurts, even when we cry and beg for it all to end. Even then, it's so very beautiful and real and perfect. We carry sunshine on our chests. Our rib cages cast shadows on the blind side of our skin. You can see ghosts dancing in our flesh if you squint, and we can guide ships to rocky shores just by towing the lips of the ocean and spreading our arms wide. Our goal in life is simple: to be wide-eyed and breathless at the wonders of the world around us, and dance naked in the warm summer rain, and laugh even when everything sucks, because we may not always be happy, and we may not always be right, and we may not always be beautiful, but right here and right now we are young enough to be alive, and all the stoplights are so green. We are All the stoplights are so green. They sprout tendrils that tickle the tops of passing buses. And the whole wide world is still so full of magic and possibility. It would be an insult not to drink deeply of it. That's what we do. We drink deeply of life in full-throated gulps. That's who we are. We are poets. Erin Livingston, ladies and gentlemen. So let's do this. If you would like to have a book, please come and talk to us about it, and we will sell you a book. And then if you would like to be interviewed, I would love to interview you. So please stick around and tell me. Come interview me, and I'll interview you. I don't want to interview you guys because of the way we met. You want to know how we met, these guys? They were in a bookstore in Bloomington, and we were about to do a show with absolutely nobody there. So we thought, well, we should do it at least in front of 2 people. So 2 people happened to be looking at magazines, and they were them. So we went over to them, and we actually dragged them into the other room so we would have somebody to read to. And now, look, they're here to do a double feature of it. So give it up for them. So, thanks.
Thank you.